What if this guy has 12 will and lets the Witch King use its will as
I know
might?
that's what I'm half
And
thinking
then
it could
the
be.
Witch King.
And they cost 15 points.
Uh,
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gollum's Gamers, where today the day has come, gents. We knew that this was going to happen. There was going to be a big article release at some point with, the reveal of the supplement. We all kind of knew what it was going to be, but we didn't know whether it was going to be more profiles revealed and exactly what it would, be.
It came at a glorious time as well, because me and Elliot were chatting about emergency podcasting, and I said, "Don't worry, Elliot. When the article drops today, we can chat about it." No. The article's not coming out today.
Hold on.
It comes out on
I have to defend
the second week of
it was
the
only
month.
3 weeks ago that we had the previous article, and sometimes there's been 5 weeks between articles. So and it's meant to be monthly, but
it was just the irony
I
of
mean,
you being like, it definitely won't be today.
I
And it
did
actually
say
comes.
I mean,
I did say
it's mainly because we're actually due an FAQ today. Like,
oh my god, is that
when
right?
so they're trying to distract us because like they haven't actually done an FAQ yet.
And this is why we have all seeing Ali on the pod to keep us in check and know what's actually going on.
There should still totally be an August FAQ, right? It just won't be today.
I
There
mean,
will still be. Because they
usually,
said in the last month that, we'll see you in August, they say, don't they? So I'm sure they said that in the last article. But,
yeah.
But it's because of Articon that they've accelerated the schedule, it seems, with wanting to announce it, which is fair enough. And I'm sure everyone there at the event will be talking about it, which is...
Most of them would have seen it after us. And
yeah. Our video will already be live. Let's get into the article. I'm going to hand over to Ashley. I'm so glad I don't have to read anymore.
Our gifted narrator.
Indeed.
So,
for the audio listeners,
for the audio listeners and the visual viewers, the 8th of August, 2024, Middle-earth strategy battle game, The Rise of Angmar. Welcome back to The Road Goes Ever On and On, the monthly blog covering all things Middle-earth. This time, we'll be exploring the details of last month's teaser and showing you everything else that's coming.
Everything else is coming.
So spooky. Last month's teaser showed a crude helmet detailed with horned decorations. These are the helmets of the warriors of Khan Dum, evil men in the service of the Witch King of Angmar, who garrison his fortress at the most northern tip of the Misty Mountains. It is these men that the Witch King unleashes at the side of his orcish armies as he seeks to bring ruin to the realm of Arnor.
Ash, you are going to have evil men in your service. How do you feel?
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fucking great.
It's going to be pronouncing them incorrect all the time by the sounds of it as well.
Go on, Ali, how do you pronounce it properly?
I'm pretty sure it's Kandum because it's got like the little triangle on top.
I also failed when I tried to do it. So for the visual viewers, the YouTube viewers, as it were, these are the models here. So I will flick through them. It's a little bit annoying they don't show all of them in one little shot, but this is a pack of 6 models, I believe. So this is almost certainly going to be a Forge World pack, just like the Black Dragon upgrade. So yet again,
Knights of Dolomoth.
Yes. Yet again, no plastic warrior release. I have been on record, I think, as saying that we will never see another plastic troop release again. But that's
I mean, we may do. I can see it in the starter box.
I can't.
And then
I cannot see it. But they did do like the High Elf banner with Elrond, but that's only because they were doing the hero in plastic. I don't think we'll ever see.
Actually, because I had a chat about why they did that, and apparently it's because there's literally space on the sprue.
Oh, really?
Like they had a big chunk of space, so they were literally like they're going, I'll just stick a banner model in there. Why not?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't cost them more, and they're a lot more efficient with space on sprues these days than they used to be.
Yeah, but these are, I mean, so not sort of the whole Viking sort of vibe isn't an era that I'm like usually that big a fan of, but like objectively just sort of looking at the models and the sculpts and stuff, they are obviously very nice. Forge World, as we've come to expect
they
now.
Kind of look like old fantasy beastmen.
Beastman.
So
Yeah, that's what I was
beast.
thinking.
But yeah, I'm not really feeling. I
It
can
doesn't
kind of see
quite
where
feel
you're going with the.
SVG. It feels fancy,
No,
not
I don't.
like
It
not
sort of does.
Tolkien.
Strike me as Viking though.
It doesn't.
No,
Just this
I
whole
mean,
kind
sure,
of.
with the horned helmets. Actually, they never had horned helmets, but
I think it generally is
um,
the helmets that I don't like so much.
Mm,
It could be different, like it could be the paint
understandable.
scheme, but
Yeah, and they are going to cost a pretty penny, that's for sure. So unless they're OP, which I'm sure they may be.
what do we think then? Me and Sam were just chatting on the phone.
Or do we?
We're thinking
Is there more to read about sort of what they? No. Okay, so
no. So this is it for the
yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
I'm thinking strength 4, fight 3, D6.
they won't be D6.
It
Like
can't be. Yeah, surely.
No
unless
armor.
if they're wearing Lake Town like fisherman jackets.
Yeah, but Lake Town are OP.
Do you think they're gonna be D5?
I'm thinking
they could even be D4 to be honest, because there's
Wow.
literally. I mean, they've got the shield. I don't know. I mean, I suppose they got shoulder
they've
pads.
got shoulder
maybe
pads.
to
Yeah, I'm
I
thinking
feel like they've got
D5.
to be at least D5.
They're
Yeah.
basically going to be like a Dunland sort of, as we'll go and see. It seems like they kind of fit in sort of a month.
But I could see them making them D3 and D4 just to make them different from Dunland.
True.
Yeah, but Dunland are trash, so they need
For
to
the
make them
record,
good.
I think they will be D5 with a shield. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be like massively surprised.
Maybe natural fight 4. Maybe that's what makes.
Yeah, I think
because
natural fight 4.
maybe
or
they're
maybe
more of
strength
a-
4.
Maybe they're more of a elite troop, and their natural fight 4, which fits into Dunland, but they're more.
They look pretty elite, don't they? To be fair,
They do. So
they look elite. However,
But
as we'll
elite as
see,
strength or fight value.
as we'll see later on, there may be a hero that gives them some buffs.
yes. Well, I guess maybe we should move on because then we can talk about the hero and this guy and these troops kind of as a
Together.
sort of thing.
Sure.
So these are the sculpts, really, really nice. Over to you, Ashley.
So if you're looking at the teaser, then you think, oh, that's it. But guess what? Games Workshop hit us with but that's not all we have to show. Oh no. In celebration of Ardacon, which we covered in the last pod, the world's largest Middle-earth gaming event, which is happening this weekend, we are going to reveal the cover of the next Middle-earth supplement, as well as the remaining miniatures that will be accompanying it. So this is everything from the new book.
Yes, and it
Elliot,
is.
as you've been on a bit of a moan fest about not having a new supplement, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I'm hyped. I mean, it's the rise of Angmar. It's here, confirmed.
The picture's a bit crap.
I wasn't going to shit on the picture because, but
it doesn't really matter. But it's like, I mean,
They could have chosen a more epic pose.
why not choose the Witch King there with the crown?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Ash would literally cream all over that.
But here's a question: narratively, should he have the crown when he's in Angmar?
I know that's what everyone's.
It's a debate, but either way,
Maybe one of the legendary legions will be you have to take the Witch King without the crown.
Yeah,
but he gets more epic buffs in other ways.
But he gets all the benefits of having the crown plus more.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah.
There's much better picture I'm sure they could have used.
Even of just a hooded wraith.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
I mean,
Can't do much about
buy
that.
it for the front cover. So
maybe they'll listen to our podcast and change it, folks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do you think they're running out of like
what you would use as the picture instead?
Do you think they're running out of like ways to prefix like sort of these supplements for like Rise of Angmar? Because we can't do war in the north or like defense.
Wasn't the last one? Wasn't it the ruin of Arnor?
Fall of
the Fall of Arnor. So the Fall of Arnor and the Rise of Angmar and the downfall of Minas Tirith, or okay, moving on, Ashley.
Here we go. So the Rise of Angmar. This 112-page supplement covers the events of Angmar's founding, the Witch King's rise to power, and his war with the Kingdom of Arnor. This book also includes an appendix section following the chieftains of the Duna before the final years of the Third Age. Ooh, very spicy. Now, here we have, let's take a stab at pronouncing this, Aldrak, Warlord of Khan Doom.
I'd say Aldrak, I think, but hey, I'm not,
Aldrak, Aldrak,
I'll let you go. Yep.
pronunciation king, come in.
Oh no, I don't know on this one. Like it could be either. So
Ash, you want to read the little bit down here before we?
Yeah, absolutely. The leader of the warriors of Khan Doom, Aldrak, is a callous and barbaric leader who will stop at nothing to slaughter the people of Arnor in the name of the Witch King. That sounds pretty brutal. When he goes to war, Aldrak is driven into a wild battle frenzy, allowing him to declare a free heroic combat so long as he kills something in the previous turn. That's pretty cool.
Just to talk about that one bit there, first of all, because we just said it, I like how they're not just giving you a free heroic combat. They're at least, putting addition on it. So sure, we see lots of models with free heroics and stuff, but at least they're making it sort of different.
It's also only on foot, but I'm guessing because we haven't seen a mana model, so it feels a much more balanced way of doing a rule like that.
I do like that. That is.
I'm waiting to see if people go, I'm going to pair this guy with Gulliver and just fly them around the board to try and get as many heroic combats as possible.
But again, because it's probably not that practical, because one is on foot, whereas Gulliver will be wanting to jump around, and getting a Gulliver base in with him after he's already killed a model is actually, when the battle lines have closed, it's going to be more difficult than you think.
Yeah,
true. True.
So just to go back and touch on, so when I read this bit up here about the appendix section as following the chieftains of Dunland. So
I read that as well.
That's what I was saying before. It was only when Ash said
you guys are silly.
I was like, oh.
I think they've edited the article since we first read it.
I don't think they have.
So what does this mean then? So
there's a Dunedain profile.
Yes.
Or Dunedain profile further down. So it's going to be like
an appendix section. Is this sort of like how
Helmsguard?
The war in Rohan. There's like
it's just like the extra profile at the end because they don't fit neatly into any of the
timeline
or the other sections.
That is interesting that they added that in then. Okay. So just looking at this guy then, so with the warriors.
This makes me think even more that the warriors of Khan Doom are going to be strength 4. This guy's definitely going to be strength 5.
Look at that bicep.
Yeah. Look at those muscles.
Yeah.
It's like seeing James Goble in the gym.
Yeah. Now he's probably going to be. Go ahead, Elliot.
No. I was going to say that this is actually a nice model, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this sort of like look. You can this is just a really cool pose, and it's actually quite I was about to say it's quite a unique sort of pose, but then isn't the on foot Glorfindel? He's literally got the same sort of like arm round on the.
So there's a thing. A lot of these poses, as we come onto, starting to feel a bit familiar to other models that we've had. I do like this one.
I think the war gear and stuff is unique enough, because you've never seen stuff like that helmet and stuff like that, really. So.
And I think the way they've done the helmet here, probably because they're able to spend more time on it because it's a hero, makes it look more natural and less sort of fantasy like Warhammer Fantasy-esque. Because I don't get the Beastman vibe off this guy in the way that I did the other
one.
No.
That's cool. Go on, Ash, you were going to say.
I'm thinking that mace he's got is going to give him some sort of special rule. Because that looks like quite a unique weapon.
It does actually.
It looks like a unique weapon in the sense it looks like the weapon that Barlin's got in Thorn's Company, which he can bash or I think piercing strike with or something like that. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So
or maybe feint. But yeah, no, it's probably going to have a multi weapon, like special strike weapon.
So these guys are going to be. Sorry, Ash, go on.
Because if we're thinking that the warriors are going to be like an elite Angmar troop, do we think that this hero is going to also be elite in the points value region? Because usually Angmar takes lots of cheap troops, gets a high model count. Whereas if say this guy's like, I don't know, go on a limb and say 70 points, that's quite expensive for an Angmar.
I think he's going to be 3 wounds, 3 attacks.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. I think 3 attacks.
I think he's going to be the Razgush of Khandom.
He looks like a big sort of combat hero, and if he was 2 attacks, he's too much of a Chad there to be a 2 attack. There's no way.
Because if you compare him to Gorwolf, who's the Dunland sort of Chad mid hero, he looks even more
visible, doesn't he?
Yeah. So
and he's a warlord, not a random chief.
So it is
not a regular old scrub.
Yeah. It is quite interesting. I wonder, because obviously these guys must be included in some kind of legion that's in the book. Just looking at sort of Angmar as a pure faction, just because obviously you really gain the benefit from having the terror with the spirit models there to give you that, but you start adding in these non-orc models that cause the terror and stuff like that. It's just interesting where the faction's going to go in sort of pure list building.
I think it would just give an alternate option. So it's like instead of being scary terror, you can actually be, I can kill stuff in combat. That
if they are elites, then do you just have some of them, or could you have a whole sort of men Angmar army with then Gullivar and the Witch King on this guy or something like that? That would really completely change the faction. Which it's
going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
I'm going to do my stats prediction for him.
Go on.
So fight value 5.
Yeah, agreed.
Shoot value 4+, because it won't be relevant. Strength 5.
I'm going
D6 because it looks like he's got a shield.
It does have a shield.
Yeah.
So D6.
What comes after defense and the thing is it courage? Oh no, attacks.
Oh yeah.
Attacks 3.
Yeah.
Courage 5.
Courage 5.
3 might.
He could
2 will. 1 fate.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, it could be 3, 2, 2, but he's evil, so he's got to be 1 fate.
He's going to be okay. So if we're thinking that, if we go, let's take Ali's stats and say right, that's what it's going to be. How many points do we think then? 80?
110.
110?
For free
wow.
He does have a free combat, and there's got to be.
He does have free combat. That's true.
There's got to be another rule in there, I reckon, as well.
Yeah, I think
Probably.
Because he'll probably have a Legendary Legion special bonus, and they tend to point them, well, not always,
slightly in to the fact that you'll take them within that.
Yeah.
Now, it would be nice if he were to have some kind of rule. So he's got the free combat. It would be nice if his other rule was something to do with the troops. But I think that might be added in to the Legion rather than his.
Or the troops could have the special, like the Knights of Daramoth or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, it looks like over 100 points with that kind of line. I think so.
I'm going like 100 to 110, like the Dale hero sort of points range for.
The most expensive sort of on-foot heroes you usually see that don't have a mounted option.
Because there is a chance he could be Burley as well. I know he's got a shield, but that looks like a hand and a half thing.
If he would strength 5 Burley, that is. But he is a true.
He could be your new Gullivar. You don't need the flying monster of doom when you have a strength 5 Burley.
He's strength 5 Burley, and you're compelling shit into him. Yeah.
So the way that I see him, he's going to be a proper snowball character. Is like the better he does, the bet he just keeps on going. But then suddenly, if he fluffs it one round of combat, or you like transfix it, it's there going, now you're no longer getting your free heroics, and like you're stuck.
You start to be bad.
And maybe you can't really get into a list where you've got like him, the Witch King, and Gullivar. Maybe that's why that's not going to work. So we'll see.
I'm also going to go heroic strength, heroic strike, and heroic resolve.
Resolve. Interesting. Okay. Well, we will revisit this exact point in time once the book releases.
When they drop.
We'll
do a book. We'll do a book review.
Yeah.
An emergency book review.
Yeah. Okay. We will leave it there for this guy, and we will hand back to Ashley.
Oh goodness! Now this is going to be difficult to pronounce.
Go on, mate.
What does that say?
So glad I'm not.
Freyich.
Fract or fract?
Fract.
I don't know. Okay.
I feel like fract sounds okay.
No, you didn't.
The Vassel of the Witch King, as he shall be known from this point
the
onwards.
Vassel of the Witch King. Big Man F, Vassel of the Witch King.
Oh, sorry, there's no
You need
text.
to scroll, mate. I can't
Yeah.
read.
Stupid. I'm being stupid.
A man of Khan Doom with a fanatical devotion to the Witch King. The Vassel acts as his master's advocate within the Northern Fortress, though he doesn't possess any actual magical powers on his own. What? The men of Khan Doom believe the Vassal has been blessed by the Witch King himself, and that the incarnations of power he chants are able to conjure strength. And I now can't read the next bit.
I mean, you also didn't read it's incantations, not incarnations.
What did I say?
Incarnations.
It's because the bottom of Zoom keeps popping over the top of it, so I just guessed. Incantations of power he chants are able to conjure strength, swiftness, and durability within those who follow him. So this guy is shaping up to be like the Círdan of evil. He's going to be giving buffs left, right, and center to all the Khan Doom guys.
An evil Círdan. Fuck me, this game is fucking going down a hole.
Right, so we're thinking strength. Maybe the Warriors
should
are.
Comment on the model first.
Let's comment on the Ashes.
Okay, fine.
Ashes. This guy's the new Círdan. He's busted.
Fine.
He looks a bit like if a Birdman cosplayed as Mizga.
Yeah.
I was immediately thinking Three-Eyed Raven vibes with the bag. There's literally like raven feathers coming out of.
Have you not thought the Rick and Morty episode where he goes off with his crows?
That's basically what I was kind of thinking.
Rick and three crows. This is Rick.
But yeah, I suppose there's a limited amount of poses you can do with a staff. Because actually the pose is very much like the old Radagast, like the OG.
Yeah.
one.
Oh yes,
I feel like
maybe that's it. Radagast when he goes bad.
with a hood.
Well, if he's not
Bad
a
cast.
caster, right? If he's not a caster, I would have liked to see this pose him like swinging his staff or club, like attacking someone with it.
Yeah, they're all very
as opposed
like.
to just
This is almost Brawl gear as well. I think we said this about another model that was revealed. I can't quite remember, but with the cloak that's coming out, it just seems like now all of the very static poses, they just make the cloak be the dynamic part.
I don't think it needs. I think it's too dynamic. It doesn't quite need to like have that much of a flick because
of a swoosh.
Yeah.
that is a strong gust to be able to get that cloak up there.
Yeah. I'd also say this really does. The joke that I think Will Champion always used to say is like, all you need to paint Warhammer SBG is just like 10 different shades of brown. It's just like brown everywhere. But no, I quite like it. I just wish the cloak didn't quite flick up as much. It's a bit overly dynamic.
It's okay. Like, again, like, does it fit the Tolkien?
If you painted him red and Easterling colours and you put it next to a Brawl gear, I feel like you'd be like,
it would be very
which is which?
very similar. So it's okay. Like, is it quite the Tolkien? I don't know.
I think with a few tweaks, it could have been. But
okay.
I do kind of like the crow piece around his neck though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that.
And if you look at his hand, he's carrying like a bone keyring or bone chain type thing.
Bones, though, so I don't like personally. And there's more bones.
I don't like the bones on the cloak.
Yeah, on the back. Yeah.
From my experience of painting Hunter Orcs, which are the most hideous models to paint in the world, like because there's just random little bits sticking out.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I've got PTSD of painting little bones and things like that.
I don't like bones. So, okay, we will move on to this guy then. What do we think? What spells is he going to be able to cast?
What do we think he's going to be a pure wizard? Cast. It says he's not a wizard, but he has incantations of power.
Surely.
So he's going to be like the Wood Elf Sentinel.
Yeah, so it could be like this. He has like 3 options or something like that, and this turn, like you can do one of them each turn. Is what I'm.
Because he says he can conjure strength, swiftness, and durability with those who follow him.
Okay.
What if it's something like warriors in his warband can either have +1 strength, +3 movement, or +1 defense? out,
That would be
It won't be in this warband.
crazy.
or
It-
it's like he can within 6 inches. He can choose each turn to give +1 strength,
Yeah, I think
+3
it will be
movement,
I think it'll be
+1
the same
defense.
thing as the Sentinel, where you can pick one per turn, and it will be
No, he'll be
I
better than
think,
just
but
one
but
per
it'd be a
turn.
bubble effect as opposed to picking
Yeah.
an individual model.
yeah per turn. He can pick which one that he wants to, what aura he wants to give off, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be any resources maybe dedicated to him doing that.
It may. I think if they're gonna be bubble effects, there'd be, because the conjure strength, it will feel like +1 strength would probably be the most obvious sort of like bubble effects to Men of
Go-to.
Khandum within 3 or 6 inches. Swiftness could be +2 movement to Men of Khandum.
It can't be
within,
3,
like,
surely. That would be OP.
but within like 6 inches,
Okay.
and then like durability would be like maybe a 5+ sort of save or 6.
5+
But
save would be cool. Then they'd nerf
but-
it because it's too good, like the Bears.
then if it's attached to like his will, and he's only got 4 will or something like that.
The way, yes. So let's say it's that, and then let's say that these warriors are also quite expensive. Say, like on the more elite side, maybe not like super expensive.
Thinking like
expensive.
8-9 points.
Yeah.
Sort
So
of
if
Black
you're
Numenorian
taking them,
territory.
and then let's say the previous hero as well has like another kind of buff with the troops. Suddenly, if you're taking this guy, those troops, and the previous hero, the warlord, it's all getting quite expensive quite quickly. So it would really sort of change.
You're probably going to be able to take 500, 600 point list of the Witch King, these 2 heroes, and then spam out some orcs and have a couple of the guys. And then getting bigger points, you can think about taking Berder, hint he's coming in a minute, or Gulliver. I just like how it's going to give you lots of different options, right?
ways of playing the list.
And
I've never had an interest in doing Angmar. I kind of do a little bit with
yeah.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
And it's like he's gonna have some connection to the Witch King, whether or not that's he can give the Witch King some of his stats, or
it could be if he's within 3 inches or something of the Witch King, he gets to do his thing for free or something like that.
Yeah, something
yeah.
like
So like he starts with 4 will. However, if he's within
3
6 inches of the Witch King, or even like starts in base contact or something, he
on
gets
a 4 up, he gets
a will
it for
point for
free
3.
for that turn or something. Yeah, something like that. Or 3
Yeah.
up, something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Let us know in the comments down below, ladies and gentlemen, what you think the Vassal is gonna possess.
A Vassal.
And if you'd like to do you know how in Wikipedia they sometimes pronounce the name in little syllables?
Yeah.
Put that down below as how we should pronounce this guy's name.
God, our content is so interactive.
Yeah.
Okay. We will move on from this guy then to the Dunadane profile that we mentioned earlier.
Here we go. So this guy's going to be in the appendix. I haven't read his name.
Oh, sorry.
It is in the text, though, to be fair.
I know, but here we go. Aaron Arth, first chieftain of the Dunadan.
Aaron Arth.
How did you get Dunadane wrong?
Dunadane.
Like, at least said in the films.
I was laughing.
Dunadane or Dunadine, I think.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
Dunadane. If it's plural, one or many.
Okay, gotcha. I was almost. So, yes.
The son of Arvadui. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
I know that.
Aranath did not become king after Arnor fell. Instead, he would begin the line of the chieftains of the Dunadane. A line that would one day result in Aragorn. That's pretty cool. A master of bow and an expert shot. That kind of doesn't read very nicely. Aranath leads the Rangers of the North into battle. His chieftain of the Dunadane special rule, spurring them onwards as they fight the corruption of Angmar.
Is this dude going to lead a Rangers of Arnor Legendary Legion? Let us know in the comments.
No, he's going to lead Rangers of the North, and finally they might, because they're okay at the moment, right? You take them, everyone's got a might point. You can heroic action, you can kill lots of stuff. But they're just not there. And I think maybe this guy could potentially make a
Rangers Legendary Legion.
Rangers of the North
You guys really don't want to
good.
comment on the models, do you?
I blame
Sorry,
Ash for that one.
the visual viewers can decide. They don't really want to hear our commentary on.
But the
model looks
audio,
good, they can take it for itself.
The audio listeners want to, close their eyes and envision the model as we describe it.
It does look a lot like Arathon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's even got his own rock, like Arathon. This is the chieftain of the Duna kind of theme. It's like if you're a chieftain, you get to bring your own rock with you to pose and put your sword in it.
Indeed. I think, if in doubt, they just put a rock there. But I think maybe it's the paint job that's throwing me off. He has, for some reason, I've just noticed, the exact same, this red bit here is on a seal door.
Yeah.
This bit here.
I think that's intentional. Because it's to show the heritage, basically.
I think, in terms of the actual paint job, I just think there's a lot going on. I think if you paint him in a more regular kind of scheme, I think he'll look better. I think he looks a bit jester-like here.
I like him. He's got the issue that since they've gone to the 3D CAD designing sort of stuff, is I never quite think the faces look natural.
Yeah, they do.
They look more
too
cartoony,
clean
don't
and
they?
smooth.
Yeah.
But
I
think it's fine.
I think the quiver looks cool as well. I don't think I've seen one so.
Sort of like a main feature of the model, where usually
because usually they're like really small and they don't have the detail of the arrows, but I think that's actually quite a good addition to this guy.
One thing that I'm thinking this model will have, which I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, is that I think the bow there, where it goes behind the cloak, is going to be engraved into the cloak. There'll be a cutout for it in the cloak, and I sort of don't like that when you paint it. I
don't know. They didn't do that with Bard, the bowman.
They've done that with the new Rivendell banner. The sword coming through the back of the cloak is
but then that's plastic, whereas this would be forged resin.
But I just hope it's not that, because it kind of ruins the cloak when you do the paint job on that. But yeah, it might be. So overall, it's okay.
Can I say his ponytail looks immaculate though?
Yeah, he has not been living out in the wild very long.
No,
that's for sure.
He's only just left. Yeah, Aragorn would not be very.
This is his
pleased
first day leaving the kingdom, being like, I am now the guy in the wilderness.
Yeah,
because all the Rangers of the North look all ragged, don't they, and all battered, and their cloaks are ripped and stuff.
They have beards.
They have beards.
This
guy's clean shaven and everything.
Yeah.
So what do we think then? So we think there's going to be some kind of Rangers Legion with him leading?
Well, I mean, he's going to be clearly an expert shot, which is why that sentence doesn't quite read well.
Bold.
No.
Yeah. And Chieftain of Duna, he'll probably be 6-inch banner for.
So that's in his profile. So that's what he's to do with him. And then if there's a Legion for just Rangers, say, there would obviously be other rules and stuff in there. But does he really fit into, say, when you've got Arvedui, for example, with Argadir and Malbeth and stuff? They seem a bit more sort of heavily armored and everything, obviously. So does he maybe fit into their Legion, which is no doubt coming? Probably not.
I don't
think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to be convenient with Arnor, probably, or he makes Rangers convenient.
They did say this, these guys are in the appendices, so at the back of the book.
Oh, so of course. So he isn't going to be part of Arnor at all. He's going to be,
no.
Dunedain.
You have to ally him into Arnor, I think.
Yeah, okay. So he most likely wouldn't
probably can't
in any kind of Legion. Yeah.
I don't know if it would actually be any new alliances. It would probably just be, if you take him, you can't take Arvedui.
Yeah.
Arathon or Aragorn in the Rangers.
Yeah.
And then he gets his own special Legion.
Yeah.
Be like Helm. But
it seems like maybe they have found a way to make a whole Legion to put in the book by just having to make one model.
One profile. Yeah.
Which
might
not be that thing if it's
nice.
We'll see.
But I don't know though what they would do with that Legion, really.
Yeah.
Because they already get +1 attack, don't they?
And the whole point, and how the Rangers works at the moment is that you obviously take Aragorn. So if you take this guy, you're now losing Aragorn. So, like, it's going to have to be improved quite a lot.
I see it as like a low points legion, but it also probably will make our font redundant.
Yeah.
What if they fight at night time and get +1 to wound? Now that's a unique idea.
The AOL counter is here, boys. Okay, I think we will leave it there then for
Actually, just here's an idea that they could do. Like they could all be like ignore all terrain and stuff like that, and
that
sort
would be
of
sick.
things.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
There's other things they can do with it. Yeah.
Then your brother's event next year, the Bubbles event, you just have the whole competition bringing them as they're like sprinting over deep water.
With like 20 might to march.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will move on from this guy to a profile which I'm sure has Ashley Walger. You know,
this guy.
Mouth is watering right now.
The shadow of Rudar.
Yeah.
This guy looks pretty epic.
He does.
He's gonna be sort of like a captain of Dead Masters, right? That's where I'm thinking.
Do you want to read the?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read the epic text. So, a twisted and malign spirit bound to the service of the Witch King. Quite where the shadow of Rudar came from is a mystery long since lost. It is said that the shadow can manifest its own dark magics, appearing as an heirloom of doom for its enemies. Sorry, Herald. God, this is why Elliot doesn't want to do the reading. It's difficult.
Why would heirloom even be the word?
Heirloom.
Those confronted by this spectral being will see their resolve ebb away, and the winds of fate seemingly abandon them. Now, is that a pretty epic Easter egg to say that he's going to be able to remove fate from heroes? Or is that just the word choice that they've chosen?
I mean, commenting on the model first.
Now, this
model actually looks sick.
Cool as
see, I'm not that keen on it.
I like it.
Partly because every time I see it, it just makes me think of a scene in a film where you've got the people on the dance floor, like just pointing at each other as they like turn around or something like that.
I think part of it is the paint job. I love this whole like
the paint
dark green. I painted a monster with a cloak sort of like this.
For me, I think if you took, he's a bit too tall. I think I would want him a little bit shorter.
Yeah, but that's because you're a dwarf fanatic, Ali.
Well,
you love that's your favorite faction.
They have to be short.
I think it's just because it ends up giving a bit too much flow. So I don't know. It becomes too much like a ghost, if that makes sense. It's a bit out of proportion with the battle rights. At least it could be completely different in person because it's hard to tell the scale on these sort of.
No, I think
I quite like the fact that he's quite tall and looks imposing, sort of like.
But think of the line of sight advantage, Ash.
That's good. Yeah, that's fair.
No, I put it this way. I like the top 2/3 of the model. The bottom third, I'm not convinced on yet.
I prefer
the armor looks really cool.
The
sword is all rusty.
We all know you prefer the bottom, Elliot.
Swiftly moving on.
I really do like the model.
What do we think? The Herald of Doom special rule, not Ellen, just for everybody who thought it might be.
What
do you think it's going to do?
The Herald of the Dead do?
It allows the King of the Dead to use his will points as might points. So I don't think it would be anything like this.
What if this guy has 12 will and lets the Witch King use its will as might?
I know, that's what I'm half thinking it could be.
The Witch King could get 15 might points.
Oh,
no, not might. I mean, use it as will and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the Witch King could use his will to cast spells.
And they cost 15 points.
Wow. I mean,
good idea, Ali.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's going to be a barrow right with might, so you can actually do a channeled paralyze.
Oh, so you think it's a Barrow-wight as opposed to a Deadmarsh Spectre?
I was thinking, it is very Barrow-wight looking. Maybe he's a Barrow-wight.
No, so I think it's going to be a Deadmarsh Spectre type hero.
No, I think he's a named Varrow.
Fair enough.
I think he's an
willing to bet you 50p, Ash.
50p.
Take the bet. You're on the podcast. There we go.
You're on 50p.
And then if both of us are wrong, the viewers will owe us 50p.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take that. The viewers agree.
All 4 of them, and 2 of them are Vince watching it twice.
I speak for the channel. I think named Barrow-wight hero. He looks.
He's got the armor chest like a Barrow-wight hero.
Yeah, he looks too much like a Barrow-wight for it to not be. I think, and I think that's intentional, surely.
So Barrow-wight's 50 points. He'll probably end up having paralyze and I don't know.
Transfix.
Sap will. No, I don't think it'd be transfix. I think it'd be like drain courage and sap will or something like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't need transfix
because that would then go into the resolve whenever way people. Isn't there a spell which gets rid of all your fate points that the necromancer has?
There is a spell that does that.
He'll have that.
Curse.
It's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So he'll have curse, paralyze, and then maybe like drain courage or sap will or something like that. And then it'd be like, I don't know, 90 points, 100 points.
So, Ashley, are you going to start playing the Witch King of Angmar in the Angmar list rather than Mordor?
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's going to be, right? Now they've seen all this epic stuff coming out, everyone's going to be playing Angmar immediately when you've got like quick.
Whereas I'm going to play Angmar without the Witch King because I'm me.
Because I'm Ali King.
We've still got loads of profiles to get through, so let's
I think
let's say this guy's cool and move on. Otherwise, this is going to become a proper pod as opposed to an emergency.
Well, we will move on to Berder, Hill Troll Chieftain.
Here we go.
I reckon we can exactly guess this guy's profile.
I think maybe as well. So, do you want to read this bit for us?
Berder has returned with a glorious new model befitting his status as a Hill Troll Chieftain, because that's new. In his current profile, he's not a Hill Troll Chieftain, it's just Troll. So that might be a Legendary Legion thing. Alongside this new miniature, Berder has a new Legendary Legion. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That focuses around him and his unrelenting horde, utilizing his impressive cunning to gain an advantage over his foes. Now, what do we think that could mean, apart from the glorious new model? Let's talk about the glorious new model.
Let's start there.
I mean, it's quite like the current model, just a slightly different pose.
Yeah. If you've seen the Berder model before, they've just moved his arms and put one of his feet on a rock.
Yeah, and obviously, me and Elliot were discussing this earlier, like briefly. I think he may be bigger and now on a bigger base.
Okay. You think he's 40 mil? Sorry, 60 mil, so as opposed to.
Yeah.
Would be interesting.
Because he is a tight fit, even with his current pose on the small base, and it looks like there's a lot more. His legs are more spread.
I do wish they changed a little bit more about him. Like the main thing that they've made sort of new, I think, is the head. I don't think the head was, as it was a metal model. It wasn't as like.
You can see
it's a weird angle actually that they've pictured to take. Because it kind of looks like he is sort of probably like you would rotate him around slightly to see all of it. But I mean, he's nice enough. I just don't know if he's a massive improvement on the previous model. No. Then he'll be Forge World resident, and I think he'll be bigger.
Ladies and gentlemen, is he on a bigger base or is he still on the cav size base?
I just think that maybe they should have changed like something about his armor or something to at least make him actually look sort of like a newer model.
I think he'll be on a bigger base because they usually base size doesn't normally come into model design. Like as in
they just design the model and then there's a base, we just fit it onto him.
So it'd be interesting. Okay, well, this guy ties very nicely into the next reveal. Ashley.
Here we go.
Oh,
Hill Trolls, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious. These guys look very, very ugly. And that's the way we like it. In a good way. They're ugly in a good way. The Hills of Angmar. Rudar.
Rudar.
Rudar. That's the same word as
earlier. Hasn't changed.
I'm not good. Rudar and other lands under the command of the Witch King are filled with more than just orcs and evil men. Hill trolls can also be found roving there. Unlike cave trolls or mortal trolls, these creatures possess a keener mind, and their hill troll intelligence, something also shared by Berder, allows them to combat their enemies more effectively.
Oh shit! So onto the models. What do we think?
So actually, I'm commenting on base sizes because there's two different versions of this model.
Yeah.
Makes me think maybe they are smaller and they're like the ogres.
Maybe
because it'd be a dual pack.
50. Yeah, they'd be 50.
Which maybe it is Berder is actually still on the smaller base.
I still think Berder's on the smaller
Or they
base.
could have actually just come up with a new size base because you have done that before.
I think it would be a little bit odd if these guys were 40, just like Berder, and he stays on 40, but you've got the ogres on a 50. That would seem weird. So
maybe they slightly increased it to 50s.
The ogres are 50.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's what they've done then. I think there'll be a 50 mil base, and probably Berder's now on a 50.
On a 50. That would make sense. But these guys are going to have to, because I mean, like Berder, you don't always see too much anyway. So if he's going up in base size, then he's going to need to have some.
These guys do look awesome.
Yeah, I think these guys, along with the Cardam Hero, are my favourite two models that they've shown in this sort of preview.
I am personally not a fan of the Star Wars-esque looking sort of troll thing, in my view.
They do kind of look a little bit Star Wars-y.
Like the one on the left, especially, it's like I don't know.
So the one on the left makes me really think of the scene. You know the catapult troll in Return of the King?
Yeah, where it's got that like
and then he goes
That
sounds a bit like Scooby-Doo. But that's what that one looks like to me.
Now, actually, looking at this one here, though, the head on this one, just looking at the bit that you can see through the cloth, looks exactly the same as Berder.
No, it's not exactly the same. It looks very similar.
That is very, very similar, apart from
that's a different mouth.
But there's not much in it.
I think though, the detail on these does look amazing. Like as in, whereas sometimes I think the smaller models can suffer from being CAD designed. These ones don't look like I wouldn't know if they were designed on a computer or not. Like
these ones look awesome. Let's hope they're not £75 for two.
Yeah. Now, what do we think rules wise then? So it says.
So, what I'm very intrigued to see what they mean by cunning and keener mind, because, like, monsters are not notoriously clever. So I don't know how they're gonna. I just don't have any ideas about.
Is clearly a special rule.
Yes, and it says that Berder now gains this rule, which it doesn't have in its regular Angmar profile. So are they going to
be? So is that going to be in an FAQ? Is it going to be part of the Legion?
Is it just going to?
I think it would just be added in an FAQ.
If it's in an FAQ, when's it going to be? It would have to be in.
So here's a thing. Maybe they're not doing an August FAQ this year because they're waiting for this to be released, and so they do the FAQ like upon release to go. And by the way, Berder now has this special.
I see when they release. Maybe that would obviously go against sort of. I don't think they've done that before, but they could do. It would be odd to leave it to the FAQ next year. Surely they wouldn't do that.
They're going to just release it when the book comes out, probably.
Yeah. So
when Hill Troll Intelligence. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
because it's an actual special rule.
Could be anything.
Maybe they deploy in like maybe they get a +1/-1 deploy or something. I don't know.
Maybe they can get it in the way. I don't know because they're like go. I should actually duck. Or
I think we're just going to open it up to the viewers. What do you think Hill Troll Intelligence could be? Because
here's a wild one, actually.
It's very wild.
Like, if a hero calls a heroic action against them, like heroic strike, they can counter for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, there's going to be...
They anticipate they anticipate the heroic action, or they can.
So it says that there's going to be a legion that focuses around Berder and his unrelenting horde. So these guys are obviously going to be included in it. So it seems as
I just never knew that Berder had impressive cunning. This is sort of like a new
revelation.
Well, in his description of his profile, he is described as being cunning, which is why he's become a chieftain of trolls.
Right, okay. There you go.
But I just wonder, so it seems like they're going to have the hill troll intelligence rule in their profile, but then in the Legion, they may get other sort of buffs as well. The Legion could potentially only be the trolls and Berder, maybe.
The big thing is that these boys have to be cheap enough.
Good. Yeah, I think
if they're like 70 points, they're probably it's just too many.
It depends on the hill troll intelligence rule, really.
Yeah.
Because if it ends up being something like they can ambush.
But the whole point in having I kind of feel like the whole point of having a 2-pack is they're going to be cheap enough to take 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, it's like ogres. I think there'd be 60, 70 points. I think there'd be ogres, basically, in special rules.
Yeah.
But like,
they need to have rules that are good enough to take them, because the ogres don't, and people don't take them. So.
I mean, the ogres suffer more from the army list they're in, because you can't take cheap heroes. You have to take Vulgar Vassel. You can't really afford to fit the Quibblies, which is what that whole army's about.
Yeah.
But if you can take these, maybe this is where we finally see some trolls in competitive play.
Oh, they must have seen our video saying that we need monsters in the game because they're so cool. Maybe they've added some of the monster fixes.
Yeah, one other shout for hill troll intelligence could be like magic resistance or something to stop them being immobilized and compelled.
Yeah.
Now, Ash, you know what the release of these guys mean? It means that we're going to have to refilm our monsters tier.
Oh, yes.
The whole entire thing.
Come on.
And if we go down some more, we might have another.
Here we go.
Monster. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we have werewolves.
Now, before we get on to reading, let's talk about these models.
I don't like them at all.
You don't like them at all?
On a previous emergency pod, didn't we? I think I said about werewolves coming out.
People have been talking about werewolves for quite a while.
People have been talking about werewolves ever since. Well, I remember there was a profile. I think I said this in one of the last emergency pods. There's a profile for werewolves in the War of the Rings supplement book.
So there's profiles for every single one of these things in the War of the Ring that never got models released.
Yes.
War of the Ring is the GOAT book.
So what I'll say is they probably already had permission to do it, so that's why they know they can go do it.
Yeah. These things look just crazy. I think they're really cool. Tell us why you don't like them, Ali.
Because they look crap. No.
Now, what I am going to say is that it looks very similar to the Gothmog Warg.
Yeah, the Gothmog Warg. So Gothmog is clearly actually riding a werewolf.
Yeah,
and he's getting a new profile where
Gothmog on werewolf.
Yeah.
It's got this. Yeah, you're right. It does have the same.
If you look at this head here on this right hand one, right, and then look at that.
Yeah.
That is like exactly the same. It's
fair enough.
But it looks like something, and I know I've said this a lot, that belongs in Warhammer Fantasy.
But doesn't this head looks very different to either of these two? Is this one on the left?
I think it's that one on the left, because of where he's on the same bit of terrain that his clan free.
Oh yes, he's on the rock. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It just kind of looks different, I guess, with the lights.
It could generally just be the paint job and the sort of like the one on the left. I do prefer much more to the one on the right.
Yes. And that's because of the rock, obviously.
He could be a chieftain of the Duna died.
I was just gonna say I'm finding it a little bit disappointing that they don't have a man or woman werewolf model as well to transition, but it does say it down below about shapeshifting. So
let's read that now then, Ashley.
Yeah, because when I saw werewolves, I thought, oh my god, they're going to be like the shapeshifting ability, the same as Bjorn and Grimbjorn, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So it has long been rumored that the Dark Lord has werewolves in his service, creatures that can change their form. However, over the ages, they have devolved, and by the time of the Witch King's rise, they have long since lost their ability to shapeshift and instead appear as great vicious wolves. Such is the ferocity of these werewolves that when they pounce, their feral charge can send their foes sprawling onto the ground. So I think that's going to be similar to Ali, the goat charge, is it? Where
I
do you
think
think 5
it'd be.
plus to knock them over?
I think it's going to be if they can charge, they have to charge, and then they gain the knockdown and +1 attack special when they do charge.
If I'm honest, that sort of rule where you have to charge something, I really don't like. Like I get maybe having it on heroes because you're choosing, to go down that road. But if you're going to take sort of, you want to add in some of these into your list, and you just know that you have to, do something in particular with them, I sort of just don't like that kind of mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with them though.
It does, but yeah, I don't know.
They're bloodthirsty. They want to kill. They're gonna.
What
they
I
are
was
gonna do that.
Sort of unsure on, where further up here it talks about Berder's unrelenting horde. Could these werewolves be part of his monster-esque?
I think the likelihood is it will be. It will be the monster mash.
Yeah,
Legion.
I think so too.
That would be cool.
Are these going to be monsters, or are they just going to be like wild?
I think there'd be basically Uber Wargs, which have probably 2 wounds, like 3 attacks.
2 wounds would be 3 attacks. They're going to be.
They're going to be. I think
okay, 2 attacks, maybe 3 on the charge.
That
have
would
to
be
charge
30 points.
If move 10, I think that'd be like 40 points or something.
Yeah,
like
40 points.
If they were 2 attacks,
strength 5 or strength 6 D4.
Strength 5, with 2 wounds.
I'm thinking like a Warg Chieftain without the
might,
and probably only getting the 3rd attack on the charge, but does get knocked down.
I think I would maybe like to have seen something not as good, a little bit cheaper though. So like maybe 20 points, and then you can actually kind of take more of them. I think they should be more of like a troop rather than like an almost hero sort of level.
But I mean they could be like, but I feel like they're a waste if they're 1 wound of a like model witch.
They're going to be. Surely they're going to have 2 wounds.
There'd be 2 wounds and at least 2 attacks.
You can make them 2 attacks, 2 wounds, strength 4, 20 points.
No, they're going to be higher than strength 4.
Is that
if a Warg is strength 4, these guys are
these they're going to be way higher.
5. I think they may actually be like full on like strength 6, sort of all out.
This is a profile that could go like I feel like you can kind of guess the warrior profile that we started with, but I don't really think that you can guess. Apart from having moved 10, these could be any fight value kind of.
These are going to be the monster cav in that monster mash Legendary Legion.
Yeah.
But do you then make them? Could the stat line be pretty crazy?
They could even be. They could even have might like the Rangers of the North. They could even be like a 1-1.
They could be like an unnamed hero.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so.
I think they're going to be about 30 to 40 points and hit like a shit brick house, but also always have to charge. So
that's it. You can make the stat line really, really good if then you give them a negative where they always have to charge. So then, that kind of counts. Yeah. But the models are okay. The stat line could be crazy. So these guys are probably going to see a lot of play.
The longer I've looked at the models, the less I hate them. But like, but I know generally I still
not cool. I said.
Overly like.
I would hope that they're included. I'm sure there's going to be another Angmar sort of Legion other than the one with Berder. I would hope they'd be included in that as well. Like if they're only in the Monster Mash one, that is a very specific sort of. You can't play a more normal play style with them. Obviously, in normal Angmar you could as well, but okay. Well, that is the final profile release. So, Ashley, do you want to read our final reveal here?
I'll conclude us. So, all of this, as well as the other Middle-earth reveals from the past months, will be available to pre-order soon. So keep your eyes peeled on the Warhammer community for more details.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm
So do we think
really
that
looking forward to it.
pre-orders next month for them to be released in October?
Something like that. Yeah, next month.
Which would be bang on when I said.
Not bad. I was not expecting it. I thought we were going to have a couple.
I thought these months teasers. I thought they were going to keep it going for. I didn't expect for it to all drop now. That's for sure.
I wasn't yet either, but I guess they have put a lot of reveals in this one big thing, which I was excited for them to do just one big article with lots in, and I'm glad that they did that. So yeah.
And it's
probably because Jay's got to go on holiday, so like he's not going to be around for the next couple of weeks to write the next one.
True.
But it's leaving a lot more to the imagination as well, because the other releases were like, here's 50 to 60% of the stat line. But here's one rule.
Yeah. Well, they clearly worked out. All of us as the community kept on seeing all of those special rules, and we're going, wait, how does all of this work? And then they were just like, let's just not tell them the special rules for now.
But
it has ruined like a good 4 videos worth of content they could have given
us. This could be the last emergency pod for a very, very long time.
I was really hoping for more emergency pods, I'm not gonna lie, but
they are fun. They are fun.
We will have to do an emergency book reveal.
Review.
When the book comes out, there's gonna be loads to talk about. There's gonna be all the stat lines. You have to go into all of it. So
there's gonna be so much more reading, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like my reading and how terrible I am at pronouncing Lord of the Rings.
Read all 119 pages. Just
actually, there was only 112 pages.
Yeah, but you'll have to read some like twice,
multiple times.
Yeah, there's going to be 20 videos, so look out.
We could do an audiobook. We could do an audiobook release.
Gollum Gamers inaugural audiobook. So looking forward.
Let us know in the comments what you think. All the profiles, what you like, what you don't like, and if you can take a stab in the dark at any of the epic rules that these profiles are going to have.
Yeah, it is all going to be coming very soon. So we will no doubt be covering everything to do with the rise of Angmar for sure. So
new Angmar versus Arnold bat reps.
Bat reps coming
soon.
Let me buy some.
And
some so that is going to do it, I think. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode from the Gollum Gamers.